The matchup is set. Welcome to the PHNX Sun Devils show presented by Neutral. Keep it tasty, Tempe. Of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by our friends and family over at Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined, as always, on a very untraditional post-game show by the one, the only Senor Rubis. That is, of course, Erik Ruby, wearing the Activate the Valley t-shirt. Go get yours at the locker. We have Captain Redbeard behind the Mac, still making all of the magic happen, guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Steven in the chat, BC, Brennan, Daniel, and of course, this guy, Rubis over here. Guys, let's have some fun because your Texas Longhorns beat...
Your Texas Longhorns
beat the Clemson Tigers 38-24. The Longhorns get to play your Arizona State Sun Devils in the Peach Bowl, the very first game of 2025 in college football is going to be Arizona State, Texas. I almost said Clemson there.
I wish.
For a chance to move on to the college football playoff semifinals.
I'm just going to do the horns down the entire episode.
It's horns down the whole week.
The entire episode. I'm going to be walking around like this.
From now on.
Just horns down. Driving home. Horns down. Showering.
Horns down.
Horns down.
Yeah.
Brushing my teeth.
Horns down.
This
you can do it like
side?
this. You can do it like this. Just brush them like that.
Just one of those.
Yeah. Love that.
We're all anti-Texas now. I was rooting for Clemson today, but
it is what it is.
Okay.
We play who we play.
I'm not scared.
No.
I'm not scared.
No.
I'm excited.
We'll get into all things Texas, how they match up against Arizona State. We will talk about this game that we just saw here for a little bit, breaking it down, things that the Sun Devils can maybe exploit, a path to victory for Arizona State, some of the strengths of the Longhorns. We'll talk a little hoops because ASU basketball did get the job done against UMass today. Yeah, I'm just going through it a lot.
Why?
Man. I don't know.
None of this happened during our live watch along.
I think it was lunch.
Lunch really hit you?
Just hit me pretty hard. But yeah, we'll get into all of that. We'll talk about Kanye Udau, the running back Army transfer commit for Arizona State. So we've got a lot to get to. Grab a snack, grab a drink, buckle up, because it is time to talk about the Texas Longhorns and the Clemson Tigers. Just what immediately kind of stood out to you? I'm going to say outside of Texas's ability to run the football.
Well, it's hard to not start there.
Yeah.
Though, right? Because that was the main focus. It was the reason why I wanted Clemson to win, was because their run defense is extremely suspect, and Texas took massive advantage of that. What stood out besides that is the fact that I don't think Texas has a great quarterback to play. And that is something where I believe that for this game, I think Sam Leavitt is a better quarterback than either Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, you're not sold on Quinn.
No, I'm not.
What specifically?
I don't think he's bad.
No, and going into the game today, we kind of discussed before, like, the post-game show really got started in the first quarter of that game, just what we were looking for. And I said for me, I was looking for coaching and I was looking for quarterback play. Yeah. And I think today, obviously, a lot of Texas's success came on the ground today. But I'm with you. Quinn Ewers didn't really sell me.
He was fine.
He was all right.
12 of 24, 200 yards, basically. A touchdown and interception. Like, he was fine.
Cade Klubnik outperformed Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, and Klubnik had some pretty bad moments. I mean, 26 of 43 is kind of tough. But Klubnik definitely had some pretty big plays. I definitely think that Ewers is not a bad quarterback, right? But I don't think that he is their top 5 player on their offense, really. Like, Ewers. If you include running backs, a few offensive linemen.
Yeah,
I mean, the right tackle that got injured.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Quinn Ewers. In the list of things that I'm worried about when it comes to Texas, Quinn Ewers is not, at the top of the list.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
I think their running backs, I think their run defense, especially off the edge, that stuff definitely worries me in a sense of like you have to pay attention to it, but a couple drop balls from a few players as well. Like this is fine.
Texas didn't play their best game.
My big takeaway is that Texas is beatable.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's fair. John in the chat, hockey show regular popping in to support PHNX, and because I'm trying to go to ASU. Best of luck. Sir. Best of luck for sure. CK in the chat, can't give Ewers time in the pocket. Absolutely not. That's something they showed on the stat graphic. Ewers' numbers and his performance under pressure versus being able to really sit and pick apart opposing secondaries, which it doesn't really matter who you have in the secondary if you have so much time back there in the pocket being able to do whatever you want. I think you saw that today, right? Clemson was able to get after Quinn Ewers a couple of times, but overall, I don't think 2 sacks is really going to cut it against the Texas offense that was moving the way this team was moving, especially in the first half. You have to be there constantly. You have to hit him, even if you are not necessarily getting a ton of sacks and pressure, just being able to hit him, right? Yeah. Make him know that you're there at all times of this game. If Texas blocks the way that they did against Clemson, and I think Arizona State's defense is far superior to Clemson's, it's going to be a long day. So I'm not necessarily saying that is, what's going to happen, but you can't afford to give Quinn Ewers time. Otherwise, you're going to see him in this offense really function the way that they did today in that first half, specifically 28 first half points. And at the end of the day, Clemson played a really solid second half. I think they played a better overall second half than Texas did. But ultimately, that second quarter was really just too much for Clemson to try and get out of.
And Clemson also, not only with a lack of getting pressure at certain moments, and especially Ewers, I mean, we counted it out 8 seconds back in the pocket, just figuring out what to do. I mean, 8 seconds in certain situations can be a very long time.
As we discussed on the postgame show.
As we on the watch along. And in case you missed it on YouTube, our cold open, we held it for 8 seconds, right? Just me proving that sometimes 8 seconds is enough. Okay. But it wasn't just the fact that Clemson didn't get pressure. It's the fact that they didn't tackle as well. There was a lot of missed tackles, a lot of big opportunities to maybe make it 4th and long or to stop them on a 3rd down. And Texas picked up some pretty big plays. And so if you're Arizona State, you also have to acknowledge that Texas is a team where if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. Yeah. Right? You miss a couple of tackles on them, that's 3rd and 10. They're not just going for 3rd and 8, gaining 3 or 4 yards. Like they're going to get 10. Yeah. Right. Like they have big playmakers. Ewers is fine, but they got double-headed snake in the running back room. I don't know if that's a term.
Two-headed snake.
They had two-headed snake. Sure.
Two-headed monster.
Two-headed monster. That's what I was looking for. That's like us. That's our show.
We're a two-headed monster. We're a three-headed monster.
Two-headed monster here. Three-headed monster fully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you.
A lot of heads.
Sure. Yeah. Pause. I think another big area of this one that you can look at is the money down, right? On 3rd down, Texas went 6 of 12, 50% there. Clemson on the other side of that, 3 of 12, right? So equal number of 3rd down opportunities, but Clemson only succeeding on 25% of those actual 3rd downs, which at the end of the day is just not good enough on the road against a really talented opponent. Say what you want, right? But, I think, again, Arizona State has a better defense. I think they have a better offense than Clemson. Like we said, Cade Klubnik played well today. 336 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. Completing 60% of his passes, not horrible. He did have 1 interception. But ultimately, I think that is something that I turn to when we talk about the Arizona State matchup that I think favors Arizona State is Sam Leavitt versus this secondary. That was not very, very good today. I think Sam, with the flurry of weapons that he will have at his disposal, Malik McClain, Melquan Stovall, Xavier Guillory, Shimon Mater, I think they can certainly go toe-to-toe with this Texas team. I'm really interested about this matchup between Arizona State's offensive line and Cam Skattebo going up against this Texas defensive line because they held Clemson to just 76 yards on the ground on 24 attempts.
And about that, the 3rd leading rusher was 9 yards from Phil Maffa, who had over 1,100 yards on the season. He only got 2 carries.
Yeah.
Which
Klubnik had the most carries of anyone on the team.
I don't know why he only had 2 carries. That kind of.
Well, you have to think about it, right? This team blinked and they were down.
Yeah, I get it.
28 to 10.
No, I mean they were up at one point, but I'm still shocked that you don't give it to your 1,000-yard back more than twice in this situation, right? That confuses me a little bit because it's not like they had zero rushing game, right? And Texas has a good rush defense. They have one of the best rush defenses in all of college football, but I still think you need to have a little bit more from that department, and I think that again plays in favor of Arizona State if you're comparing Clemson and Arizona State. Cam Skattebo is not going to be getting the ball twice. Right? Like, I don't care what happens in the game.
He'll get the ball twice on the first drive.
I don't care if Arizona State is down early.
Yeah.
Right? Cam Skattebo's getting the ball more than twice.
Yeah.
Right? Your best player's getting the ball a lot. I mean, TJ Moore, you saw what a wide receiver one can do against this Texas defense. TJ Moore had an incredible game, 9 receptions, 116 yards, right? Like that secondary is susceptible. They had a couple big games. Jake Brenningstool.
Couple 60-yard plus receivers,
69
too.
yards, yep. Antonio Williams, 66 yards. Bryant Wesco Jr. had that great grab, but it wasn't in bounds. So you are going to have to see a lot from that wide receiver room that stepped up against Iowa State. You're going to need to see that carry over because I know we saw Jordan Tyson without the sling and everything. He ain't playing in the Peach Bowl. I would doubt he plays in the college football playoffs, but if he does, it will not be on January 1st.
Yeah, and I think another big part of that, right, is you look at some of those receptions for those wide receivers, right? A 30-yard reception, a 28-yard reception, a 25-yard reception, a 22-yard reception. Like, they're not just giving up dink and dunk all the way to 100 yards to 60 yards. They're giving up big plays in that secondary. And you know, if you are able to keep this game close and throw it all over the field like this, what it does in terms of being able to open up a run game is going to be huge for Arizona State on January 1st. I'm interested to see that approach. If you run it right at them, or do you try and open it up first and then go to the ground?
Yeah.
Regardless, like you said, though, Cam Skattebo is going to get the ball a ton of times. And that's something that Texas is going to know. Everybody in the stadium is going to know. It's just a matter, kind of like we said on the watch along. Were we going to get an ACC team up against an SEC team? And we saw it today. The SEC team won.
I mean, I knew exactly what you were saying.
Now you've got an SEC team versus a Big 12 team. And is the Big 12 going to be able to punch back?
Sure. I mean, I think ASU, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they would. That they would punch back.
Because they have in every
have.
game.
They did against Iowa State. Yeah. Right? And yes, Iowa State's not an SEC team, but Iowa State is a good team. Right? And I'm predicting this right now. I think Cam Skattebo has over 70 yards receiving in the Peach Bowl. I think he's going to have
yards receiving.
I think he's going to have a really good game on the ground. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of through the air to scat. Texas or TX Comby 1983. Finally, the Texas fans are showing up. Send this to your friends. Tell them to come party with us. Says, keep in mind, this will feel like a home game for Texas, too. A sea of burnt orange sprinkled with a wee bit of yellow at the Peach Bowl. I mean, just off proximity alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
it didn't really matter.
Texas will probably have more fans there. I don't underestimate, though. ASU fans are definitely going to show up. There's been large demand for plane tickets and for tickets there in general, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas had more fans. I would say Iowa State had more fans, barely, in the Big 12 championship, but I think they did. It doesn't matter how many fans show up. It matters who walks away victorious.
That's facts. That's facts. And the books think that Texas is going to walk away victorious.
Big time.
ASU opens as a 13.5-point underdog against Texas, a team in Arizona State that has been disrespected, has been called the worst of the worst in the conference all season long. So a 13.5-point underdog after ESPN just paraded a bunch of nonsense on national television during the college football playoff selection stuff, and really all week following that, putting up the U of A logo, saying that this Arizona State team is the worst college football playoff team of all time. And now they open as 13.5-point dogs. Bet. They've been saying it all year, and they're still saying it. They're still saying that you don't stand a chance at 11-2 as conference champions with a Heisman-level running back, with a future Heisman-level quarterback. They don't believe. Well, you know what happens when you don't believe, right? You got to make them believe.
It's true. I want to know from TX Comby 1983, if you are still here, which I hope you are you worried at all? Is Arizona State, do you feel like this is just going to be an easy win? Like you're just going to walk into it? Like I want to know what your perspective is on this matchup, because we have seen a lot of disrespect towards Arizona State from ESPN, from college football fans, from college football analysts. I'm wondering what Texas fans think. I'm wondering. So let me know.
It's certainly going to be a game. I don't think Texas covers 13 and a half. You're just such a
what?
I can't say it now.
Yeah.
Can't say it now. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review. Are we ready for By the Numbers, Captain Redbeard? Do we have that by chance? We are ready for that. So let's go ahead, get to By the Numbers, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, as Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Of course, the only number that matters is that final score. Texas coming out on top over the Tigers, 38-24. Through the air, 336 for Klubnik and company, 202 for the Longhorns. On the ground, it was all Texas all the time, 292 to just 76 for Clemson. Evened out, though, about 494 for the Longhorns, 412 for Clemson. Third downs, we talked about it earlier, 6 of 12, 50% for Texas, 3 of 12 for the Tigers. Time of possession, 27 minutes and change for Clemson. 32-57 for Matthew McConaughey's Texas Longhorns. What stands out to you there?
It's the rushing yards.
It's on the ground.
Rushing yards and third downs. Because, every single time that Clemson felt like they had a little bit of life, Texas just said, here you go, Blue. That's my boy, Blue.
Jaydon Blue is a dog.
Definitely.
An absolute. But it wasn't just him.
No, it was Wisner as well.
Yeah. They absolutely dominated on the ground.
Combined between those two, 256 yards on 29 carries.
Tom in the chat, Texas is a 13-point favorite for a reason. Odds makers aren't dumb. Hook 'em horns.
Okay.
They looked pretty dumb at the start of the season when they picked ASU where they did.
Yeah.
When they had ASU as underdogs in I don't even know how many games this season.
Some people thought ASU wouldn't win a game this season. Kier says, don't see how ASU will score a lot of points against the Texas defense. Well, like James said, Texas pass defense didn't look that great. It didn't, and ASU even
Klubnik threw all over the yard.
Even without Jordan Tyson, Sam Levin has shown that he could attack through the air with the weapons that he currently has. But it's Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo is how Arizona State scores a lot of points against you. And if you are not aware of Cam Skattebo, I would recommend between now and January 1st that you just look up Cam Skattebo tape because you want to be familiar.
This guy right here, number 4.
Yeah.
He does things. He does things to defenses, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, FS, whatever, to all things. Cam Skattebo, don't care who you play for, what colors you wear. He's going to run through you.
I want a confidence level from Tom, from Kier in here. Tell me, 1 out of 10, how confident are you that you're going to advance and play the winner of Oregon, Ohio State, Tennessee?
Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Still a ton more to talk about as it relates to Arizona State and Texas, both for this game, for the Arizona State roster next season, also for ASU hoops as well. We'll get to it all on the other side of this break. Guys, PHNX is proud to have Sanderson Ford as our official vehicle partner. Sanderson Ford is thankful to have lived and prospered for the past 70 years in Arizona. And look, if you've never been to Sanderson Ford and you are in the market for a new car, maybe you're looking for a really, really big gift for somebody for Christmas. Well, I'll tell you what, head over to Sanderson Ford. Their 65-acre facility makes them the largest Ford dealership in the nation. And with 65 acres on that facility, I'll tell you what, they have a ton of different options for you when it comes to cars. I guarantee you can find something that you are going to love, whether it be for you or for a loved one this holiday season. They thrive on a no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense sales approach, which is realistically exactly what you want to be dealing with when it comes to a car. You don't want to be sitting there for hours and hours going back and forth. They'll take care of you. Get a new 2024 F-150 truck with 3.9 APR financing for 66 months plus up to $4,000 cash back. Similar savings on over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot.
If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing my crown. My crown that is my Brandon Bills hat, and I wear it backwards. I'm going to turn it forwards just for this ad read because y'all got to see this sexy ASU hat that I have. Listen, it's okay to get a little scandalous because I'm showing off my branded Bills hats. It's the perfect headwear and apparel. You got snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, and tees. Brandon Bills has you covered with performance and style, and of course, they have custom gear as well, whether it's for your company, whether it's for whatever you want to do. You have just a group of friends and you have a fantasy football league and you have a custom logo for it and you want some custom logos on your hats. Well, guess what? You can do it at Branded Bills. You can be supporting a local company that's partnerships with Big 12 champion schools, like, of course, your Arizona State Sun Devils. And just for listening to this show, you can get some money off your first order. Head to brandedbills.com. Use code PHNX for 20% off your first order and send me a picture. Send me a picture of you rocking your Branded Bills hat. Thanks. We got a 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 from Texas fans on as far as confidence level goes that they will beat Arizona State.
What's your confidence level?
That Arizona State will win? Mm-hmm. 7. 6.5 to 7.
Most realistic I've ever seen you.
Texas is a good team.
They're a good team.
Texas is a good team.
We beat an SEC team before.
It's true. Definitely a worse SEC team.
Definitely a worse SEC team. Do we have bottle service ready? Let's go ahead. Let's get the bottle service, the player of the game, the man who really carried this Texas team all day over the Clemson Tigers. And look, there were a lot of players that had big days, but there's realistically only one. And it's this guy, Jaydon Blue, 146 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. This man was averaging 10 yards a carry. A 77-yard rush was his longest of the day. He feasted on this Clemson defense, Erik.
Yeah, he was the grave digger, coffin maker.
Yeah.
He put him in the dirt, right? Put them in the dirt, put them away with some you can play a bad rush defense and you can just kind of chunk away at it, and that's not what happened.
No, it was
here.
big run.
No, it was big play, back-breaking plays as well, like in big moments too. As soon as Clemson just garnered a little bit of momentum, right? Just a little bit. Squash. Done. Wisner had a good game though too. Could have been the whole running back room.
He did.
Williams has 2 big runs. That was about it. I mean, they're 2 really big runs.
Yeah, they were, and they were touchdowns. So Quintravion Wisner, 15 carries, $110, 2 touchdowns as well. He averaged 7.3 yards a carry. There's your 2-headed monster in the Texas backfield. It's going to be interesting to see how Arizona State contains those two or attempts to, right? This is an Arizona State team that's had a really solid run defense all year long. I think what's going to benefit Arizona State is they've seen really good running backs at all walks this season. They saw Ishmael Mahdi in non-con play. They saw guys like an RJ Harvey in conference play. They saw Devin Neal in conference play. They saw Taj Brooks, all of which I believe are better running backs than those guys that you have for the Longhorns. Not to say that those two aren't great, but what RJ Harvey and some of those Big 12 backs were able to do this season is really, really impressive. And Cam Skattebo is one of them on the other side for your Arizona State Sun Devils. So defensively, I think that is more likely where this matchup is going to be won. I think if Arizona State's defense can hold Texas, then I think you're going to have a ball game on the other end, because I feel real good about what Sam Leavitt, Cam Skattebo, and this offense can do. But that defense is going to be tested. This is an SEC offense. This is a team that was playing in the SEC championship game. This is a team that has Quinn Ewers, and I know he didn't play his best game this week, but he is a projected NFL quarterback. Jaydon Blue, Quintravion Wisner, and they've got some guys on the perimeter and at tight end as well that certainly can be big difference makers. Right, you look at Gunnar Helm, 6 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Felt like he was open, and Ewers could have him whenever he wanted. Yeah,
this is the best team that Arizona State's played all season. There's no need to bury the lead.
This team spent most of the season in the top 3.
Yeah, in the top 3. This is a very good football team. I did not expect ASU to be favored. I think they have plenty of difference makers, plenty of playmakers, and you just mentioned on offense. I mean, their defense as well. They have some big time dudes. I mean, Anthony Hill Jr. had himself quite a day. That was 0. I mean, it started early when he was running off the edge and just timed it perfectly and grabbed Klubnik and threw him to the ground when Klubnik should have handed the ball off in an RPO. But 9 tackles, 7 solo is pretty good for a game like this. I really do think it all comes down to Cam Skattebo. Defensively, I think that you're going to be able to hold. I think Texas is going to put up points for sure. I think they're going to be able to run the ball well. I think they're going to be able to pass the ball okay with Quinn Ewers in the secondary. But I think that if Cam Skattebo can have a Heisman level game, then anything is possible for Arizona State. But if you get anything less than that from Cam Skattebo, if you don't get 100 yards on the ground minimum, and if you don't get 150 to 200 all-purpose yards from Cam Skattebo, minimum, I think you're cooked.
Guess we'll find out.
I think they can do it.
I think they can too, and specifically because I'm not worried about this Texas offense, to be completely frank with you. Quinn Ewers is not very impressive to me. It's their offensive line that's impressive. So I think that again, and that
that's pretty important.
All games are won in the trenches, right? And this is a team in Arizona State that is going to be returning a lot of their defensive line starters next season, right? A CJ Fight, a Jacob Kongaika, a Clayton Smith. Like these are guys now that you're going to want to prove that, right? Because this is your defense next year. A good chunk of them are coming back.
A lot of them are coming back.
So if you're able to take care of business in this game and really, really battle with Texas in the trenches, and the same goes for Arizona State's offensive line, then I think you are in a place where this is certainly a game that you can win. Somebody said it earlier in the chat. Sark does not do too well against Arizona State. The Sun Devils are 4-1, I believe, over Sark. And you know, Kenny is a better coach than anyone that's been here before that's faced Sark.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the staff is able to prepare. I know they said they've been in a self-scouting period and they're not going to think too far ahead until they knew who they were going to play. But
well, now you know.
It's hard to imagine that they weren't already getting ready for at least a little bit of both of these teams. Right? Like they've already had to start their prep. And Kier says, ASU's not facing any elite defense like this. Big up front, fast, very athletic. They will contain the running back from ASU.
Well, it'd be the first.
Yeah, it's okay to think that you're going to win. I don't think that saying you're going to contain Cam Skattebo is the hill that you would like to stand on, right? If you want to say that you're going to be able to lock up, wide receivers, lock up the secondary, right? If you want to say that in the trenches you're going to dominate, but when it comes to Cam Skattebo one-on-one, it's just not going to happen. You are not dominating Cam Skattebo. And you know what? And like Cam Skattebo knows that you think this. Knows that everybody believes that, if he plays an SEC team, blah, blah, blah. Like, he knows. He's been sitting there. It's been brewing.
They all know. The whole team knows.
This is a team that's just been thrown with waves. Like the way that Texas fans are speaking right now are the way that so many Big 12 team fans were speaking about us at the beginning of the season. Right? No chance. No chance at all. And I get it. You probably haven't watched a lot of Arizona State football. So let me give you a very brief introduction to Arizona State football. They're going to control the clock. They're going to run the ball down your throat, and they're going to be the best coach team that you've played all season. Like, this is going to be a tough test, and I'm not saying you have to be not confident that Texas is going to win, but to go into that game and thinking that Arizona State doesn't have a chance, you will be mistaken.
Yeah, one of my buddies, Matt Roy, had tweeted this out. I think it's great. Already people are saying the Peach Bowl is going to be a massacre between Texas and Arizona State. For those of you thinking that, think about this. The odds for the Sun Devils to make the playoff were plus 10,000 or 0.01%. To win this game, plus 400 or about 20%.
Yeah.
I'll take those odds. I'll absolutely take those odds. Now you get to play a team on the other side, right? You get to play a team that was talked down to all year. A team full of misfits. Right? From the Big 12, from Arizona State. You don't know much about them. This team will be ready. And I'll tell you what, they own Cowboy Stadium. They own the Big 12 this year. It's the old Big 12 versus the new Big 12.
That is true. All the Big 12 besides one school, Tony's school, hi Tony, is polling for the Arizona State Sun Devils. They have to, right? They have to, especially all the Big 12 teams that were here before. Have to.
The Texas to Tempe final boss.
This is for
Brett Matthew
Yormark.
McConaughey.
Is that Jordan Ham?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tweet.
Great tweet. Absolute phenomenal tweet on that end. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button.
Texas fans, stick around. We're going to be talking about your team for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You want to come talk trash? You want to come, put your flag down over here and say, this is what we're going to do over in Texas. When you put your horns down, we're going to take your little Skattebo and we're going to put them in our pocket. All right? So if that's what you want to do, so why don't y'all just make sure that you stick around? Just stick around over here. All right? Show some of that Southern politeness. All right? Hit the like button.
All right.
Subscribe.
We are cutting that and tweeting that for sure.
Subscribe to your PHNX Sun Devils here.
That's some good stuff. That is some good stuff. Yeah, Craig, Sark still remembers when he was fired after playing the Devils. Left him on the tarmac. Left him there. See ya.
Stuff.
See ya.
Adios, muchacho.
Okay. You're done.
It's been a day.
You're done.
It's been a day.
Been a day.
It's been a day.
Look, you wanna get to aftertaste, then take a quick break. Talk about Sanderson Ford driving the game after that.
Okay. Yeah.
What was longhorned into your gullet today?
Cheese curds.
Cheese curds. This one tasted like a cheese curd to you?
It tastes like a cheese curd. It's a nice appetizer for the main course. It's a good game. Good job, Texas. You did a good job.
Good job, Texas.
Now it's time for you to.
And we're gonna be doing this the whole time,
Devils.
huh? You're gonna. I'm
gonna podcast like this for the next couple of weeks.
I mean, it's ironic, right? I shaved into a mustache. I got to go to Texas, and we won Texas. Now we play Texas. I've got a mustache. We're going to Atlanta. And we're gonna do it there.
Sorry, I just blacked out when you did that.
What?
I just had no clue what you just said. You just started going, and I just stopped listening.
Okay, Captain Redbeard, what was longhorned into your gullet?
Calamari.
Ooh, okay.
Calamari.
Please explain. Yeah.
It's another appetizer before the big meal.
Okay.
It's a good one.
No reason for the octopus of it all?
No.
Okay. That's fair. Just the appetizer.
For the 8 legs?
The 8 legs.
This isn't a max 8-legger.
Hey, sometimes 8 is a lot.
Yeah. 8's a lot.
In some cases, it's too much.
This one tasted like like water. This one just tasted like a couple glasses of water during a 24-hour fast. You know why? Because it fills you up for a little bit, right? But you're not satisfied, right? You're not satisfied with just water.
Water's a really interesting one. I can't lie.
You're just there, right? And again, it's a fast. You're getting ready to eat. The main course, like you both said, is on deck. Get ready to feast on January 1st, okay? There's going to be no more fasting at that point. Let me know in the chat what was longhorned into your gullet, guys, and we will see you on the other side of this quick break.
We had a wonderful, wonderful watch party sponsored by watch along sponsored by Neutral. Of course, the show is brought to you by Neutral. And we are doing a watch party on January 1st for the Peach Bowl against the Texas Longhorns. That, of course, is brought to you by Neutral. And why? Because Neutral is keeping it tasty in Tempe. Neutral's keeping it tasty over at Wild Horse Pass, Gila River Resorts, and Casinos. But why Neutral Seltzer? Why, you ask me why? Well, because it's good. Like real good. Simple ingredients. Vodka, seltzer, real juice. Delicious. Not artificial tasting. None of that fake stuff. None of it. Over at Neutral, they have so many different flavors. The basics: pineapple, watermelon, black cherry, orange, and more. But you're a cranapple guy.
I am.
Cranapple's my number 2. Strawberry lemonade's my number 1. The whole lemonade pack is delicious. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Neutral is a flavored vodka and carbonation, and it is out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Look, it's set. Texas, Arizona State, Peach Bowl. If you're not going, well, I'll tell you the next best place to be, and that is over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because we're going to be doing a little watch party over there. So definitely make sure you're hanging out with all the diehards and everybody in the Arizona State community over at Wild Horse Pass. And that's not the only location you can go visit. Bequiva, Santan Mountain, the list goes on and on. If you like to be a winner, well, that's the place to be. Go all in with over 4,500 slots and live table games, or you can catch all the action at any of their sports books. Maybe make a little bit money on that suspect 13.5 point line in that Peach Bowl. But hey, what do I know? Look, with an unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement you're not going to find anywhere else in the desert, because they have set the highest bar possible. Look, enter for your chance to win the Ultimate Arizona Cardinals VIP experience for you and a friend. Winners are going to enjoy 2 tickets to the 49ers Cardinals game in January of 2025. You're going to get on-field pregame experience, lunch at Morgan Athletic Club, meet and greet with Big Red and cheerleaders, VIP stadium parking, and so much more. Enter for free at playatgila.com/Cardinals. You do you at Gila River Resorts Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
By the way, Ohio State up 7-0 with the ball. 10 minutes left in the first. First and 10 of the Ohio State 32.
I think Ohio State wins that game.
I'm rooting for Tennessee. I think Tennessee would win, but I mean, not a great start.
Well, look, before we move on any further about Arizona State's roster and the outlook for 2025, before we talk hoops, before we get to closing time.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't even talk about the 2025 roster.
No, we have not done that yet.
Oh, sorry. Final thoughts before we get there.
Yeah,
sorry.
Before we get to,
I was like,
it's okay.
I think my final thoughts on that. I was like, did I really black out?
Before we get to any of that, I want to know from you, what was the Sanderson Ford drive of the game. What was the moment where this thing kind of turned all the way upside down for the Clemson Tigers? The deals are back at Arizona's largest largest Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. Shop America's most awarded Ford dealership with no hassle, no pressure, and of course, no nonsense.
Let's just take a second and appreciate how amazing that transition specifically was. That was really good.
Yeah, deals are back.
Those deals are back.
Deals are back.
Here's the thing. This one felt pretty obvious to me because there was a moment where you felt like Clemson can really make this a game. This was a possession that went 9 plays, 73 yards, 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Clemson was down 38-24, and they get all the way down to 4th and goal at the Texas 1-yard line. And stuffed twice. 2nd and goal, you run for 4 yards to the Texas 1. You'd pull a timeout at 3rd and goal at the 1. Then you come out, Cade Klubnik runs for no gain at the Texas 1, and then you go 4th and goal. Keith Adams runs for a loss of 1 yard to the Texas 2. At that point, if you punch that in, it's a 1-possession game, right? And you all have all the momentum. But Texas completely stole it back. Sean says the blue TD run. I think that's the best play of the game, but the drive of the game, what I think really defined this, what really pulled out a victory was at the end when Clemson had a chance to make it a 1-possession game and Texas stuffed them at the 1-yard line. That's a really massive stand from the Longhorns.
It was. It absolutely was. That was, there was a point in this game, specifically in the 4th quarter, where it felt like Clemson was really starting to gain some of the momentum back. They had cut it pretty close. And like you said, they were driving. They had an opportunity to make it a 1-score game, got stuffed. Mm-hmm. And on the other end, Texas was able to really put this one away. That was certainly the Sanderson Ford drive of the game. I think there are a couple other ways that you could go, but for me, I agree with you on that one. I think
Thank you. Your support means the world.
That's what I do.
You earn the hand.
You got warm hands.
You always have cold hands. We brought this up before.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Sean, yeah, I can agree with that actually from Erik.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, that's good. Did you agree with him, Captain Redberry? I just want to make sure everybody's in agreement.
I just want to make sure that nobody disagrees with me or I'm going to cry.
Yeah, cry baby.
Yeah.
Cry baby Ruby. Right. Yeah, you agree?
That was definitely the moment of the game.
Say it with your heart.
That was the moment of the game.
There you go.
I didn't really change there.
I could just tell by the look in your eyes.
I love it. Look, any final thoughts on what we saw from the Longhorns and maybe from your favorite guy, Dabo Swinney, on the other end?
I thought that was a well-coached game for Clemson. I just thought that a couple things in big moments didn't go their way. I thought Clemson fought nobly. Shout out. Noble.
Yeah. Didn't see him today.
But definitely a worse team than Texas. I think Texas is a beatable team. I think Texas has very clear strengths. And if Arizona State can somehow dole down those strengths just a little bit, this is going to be a ball game.
Bunch of former Longhorns on this Arizona State roster.
Zach Swanson, Jamon Tapp.
Prince Dorba used to go to Texas.
I always forget that.
Xavier Alford, I believe, was at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be mistaken. I think USC. Jake Smith was also.
Jake Smith was on Texas. Yeah.
You're right. There are a couple guys.
Is this the Jake Smith game?
How many times are we going to say that?
Is this the Jake Smith game?
No, it's not the Jake Smith game.
You hate on my wingspan. Look at that.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Congratulations. You have long arms, dude.
Long arms to take on the Longhorns.
Yeah. Long arms, all for 8 seconds. It's tough. Oh, my
Sometimes
goodness.
It's long enough.
Yeah. Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say. Jacob in the chat, who is DePaz cheering for? Better be cheering for your Arizona State Sun Devils, man. Come on, that's the way it's got to be. And look, while we're talking about ASU, I do want to discuss the newest running back for Arizona State. Obviously, he won't get the chance to play in the Peach Bowl. But next season, Army running back transfer Kanye Udau, 6 foot, bigger. Like he strikes me more as a power back. He's got some speed to him. Over 1,100 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns on less than 180 carries this season. We brought it up and talked about him a little bit on yesterday's show or the day before because we didn't have a show yesterday. Just what this kid can do, what it would mean to be able to get a running back like that. And I think it is an absolutely phenomenal pickup for Dilly.
Huge. Yeah, this is your running back one.
Yeah,
this is
for next year.
And I love Kyson, and I really hope that Kyson stays. I'd not be surprised if this maybe meant that Kyson left. If he stayed, that's one of the best 1-2 running back duos in the country.
Yeah.
But this guy is good. He is good, right? And he can be a workhorse back for
A
you
dog.
as well. He absolutely is a dog. A little bit of a taller back, definitely a different build than Scat.
Yeah.
But I trust most players in Sean Aguano's system, but this guy specifically, I think he is going to eat.
I hope so.
I think he will.
And he's not the only Arizona State Sun Devil, or potentially future Arizona State Sun Devil. If you saw the report, Zechariah Branch. And then, of course, I believe his brother is Zion Branch, a safety. Both USC transfers, both hit the portal, both visiting Arizona State today.
There is an unsourced report that Zechariah is going to Georgia, but we are not believing
not
that
real
right now.
Not real.
I mean, I think it's probably between Arizona State and Georgia.
Yeah, I would say at this point.
That feels
I would
like
say at this point. He left his Georgia visit.
Yeah.
They left their Georgia visit to come to Arizona State.
Right to Arizona State.
So that is certainly something to keep in mind. We've been pretty gung-ho about if you were able to get Zechariah, and then we talked a little bit about it earlier too, if you're able to get Zion. Those are two guys that you would absolutely welcome with open arms into this program that could certainly do some things. And it would be a lot of fun. Definitely stay locked in. PHNX_Sun Devils on social. We'll definitely have an update when we hear anything or when news breaks of the Branch brothers and, potentially their future at ASU.
I mean, if you're able to get, because Zion would play too, right? Like Zion would very clearly play. You're not going to be promised a starting role if you come here. You're going to laugh at me. Even Zechariah Branch will not be quote unquote promised.
But he will be starting.
But he would be starting, right? And if you get a returning Jordan Tyson and he is healthy, right? That's the best 1-2 wide receiver combo in the country, point blank, period. Right? You already have a Heisman candidate quarterback. You now have a running back who's put up over 1,000 yards in a season already. Plus, hopefully, if you keep Kyson or if you keep Jason, right, you have some other, younger prospects to throw in there as well. People who have a little bit more potential that you might throw in there. You have some offensive line returning. Sean Na making that announcement today. Like this is shaping up to be. If everybody stays, if Levitt stays, if Tyson stays, right?
Those are your two.
Those are the two. Yeah,
and Alford. If you can, if you can keep
Alford.
Alford.
If you can keep Alford. I'm just talking offensively, though, right? If you get Branch and you lose Tyson,
it's over. Back to back.
Oh yeah, I mean,
back to back.
I mean, I don't know why.
Back to back.
I don't know why either of them would want to leave.
Back to back. That's what's happening.
Oh yeah, if you get Branch, and you don't lose anybody else, like.
It's gonna be some fun.
That would be life changing.
Yeah. For me or for you or
for all
Captain
of us.
Redbeard.
Definitely for Captain Redbeard.
Captain Redbeard.
His life would change if Zechariah Branch and Zion Branch committed to Arizona State University.
Can you promise me something?
Change my life.
Can you name your firstborn son, Zechariah or Zion, if they commit to Arizona State?
Zechariah Cooper.
Zechariah Cooper.
Zechariah Cooper's good. Zechariah Cooper's a quarterback for sure.
I don't know if I want to give away one of my children.
What about a middle name? Come on. Do it for the numbies.
I don't know about that one.
We'll let you pick. You can pick which one you want.
I don't want to get my kids involved.
I mean, I get it. Are they going to be Sun Devils? Are your children going to be Sun Devils? I think that's where everybody wants to know that,
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very confident answer. I don't really like that from you, Captain Redbeard. I'm going to need you to steer, the ship correctly on that one. But yeah, it is certainly something to keep your ear to the streets about the Branch brothers, and then of course Udao. And there are going to be some other additions for Arizona State, more than likely in the secondary, in the trenches. So definitely something to keep your eyes on as we continue on with this PHNX Sun Devils post-game show. Few more things to discuss, but overall, there is a comment I did want to get to that I think really, that from a Texas fan that isn't too far gone at this point. And it's Sean, where he says, as a Horns football fan, I'm not completely sold on this being a blowout. We have shown we can be vulnerable, and y'all have Skattebo and are extremely well coached. It's going to be a good game. I think it is going to be a good game. I think what you're going to see in these next matchups, these college football playoff quarterfinals, I think are going to be significantly closer than what you've seen so far in the first round of these matchups. The first round of these matchups have been played at some very intense stadiums, some very ridiculous atmospheres, right? You look at Penn State, what they did at SMU today, Notre Dame, just molly-whopping Indiana. Even this game, Texas was really in control of this one from the jump over Clemson. They're at home, and then Ohio State, they lead Tennessee right now. So all of the home teams, getting that benefit of being able to host a game, I think is really big, but it also benefits Arizona State that they've been able to breathe a little bit, have some extra time to self-scout and to get healthy during this time period. These guys are going to be fresh, and if you can get them built back into the intensity that they've been doing, leading into the Big 12 title game, leading into the rivalry game, that is something that is certainly going to be big as you get to January 1st, because you don't want to have that lethargic, we haven't played football in 3 weeks.
Yeah, right? No, and listen, as well, you also get kind of that itch, right? Like we talked to Scat during the bye week, right? And talked about it, having that time off in between playing. And he's just like, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready to play. Like, this is a team that's going to be well prepared. It's going to be smart. They're going to be, like you said, self-scouted. They're going to have the Longhorns scouted. They are going to be ready to play, to prove the world wrong, because with how much disrespect has come through just since the college football playoffs have been announced, now that Texas Arizona State is set, that disrespect is going to continue and continue.
Through the roof, honestly. Everyone's, oh my God, SUC. Oh my God, Quinn Ewers. Oh my God, it's Texas. Oh my God. And we're over here like, okay, keep it going. We've heard it all year long, right? Like, it's literally, it's been to the point where from before the season even started, dude, in the Big 12 Media Day, nobody was talking about Arizona State. Nobody was talking about the Sun Devils. Nobody was talking about Kenny Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham's a better coach than Sark. Sorry. Sorry, Texas fans. Like, that's just how it is. Arizona State kind of owns Sark. Now, you got some good players. You play in the SEC. It's going to be a good game. 13.5 is a wildly disrespectful line on a neutral site.
It's fine. It's fine. Heap it on. Just heap it all on.
Give them more fuel, right?
Give them more fuel.
Give them more fuel.
What gave me fuel? Arizona State men's basketball. Turning it on at the second half of the second half.
And we'll get to both. We'll get to...
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you're going to take a second?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Take me there.
Dude, I step into this role for hall monitor, and then you immediately step in my way and start throwing it to breaks. And then
no, I'm just throwing roadblocks at you.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
I'm
boom,
jumping
boom,
over
boom,
them.
boom. Your name's on both these, by the way, so I hope you know you're reading them.
Oh, I'm not reading
You're
both.
reading them both.
No chance. No chance.
You're reading them. Okay, I'm taking the first one.
No,
and we will see you guys
after this break. Woo! Let me tell you about our friends over at Circle Freaking
Get off of me.
K. We're in Studio K. I was munching around on some Circle K snacks during our watch along, because Circle K, nobody does it better than them. They're America's thirst stop, and right now you can join the Inner Circle, a free membership program, in order to save yourself some money, right? And you must say, oh, well, it can't be that much money. Well, how about 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups? After that, 3 cents off per gallon after you do that for a little bit, and you get that on unlimited fill-ups. You can even fill up twice in one day, get 3 cents off per gallon. That eventually goes up to 5 cents off per gallon. You also get deals on drinks and on snacks. It's fantastic, including a member-exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members like yourself can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. Join the Inner Circle for free. Download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details. You know what? You'll love me. I'll read this one anyway, just because I'm that guy. Listen. There's a company started by 2 college friends, okay? It's called Saturday Neon.
Your wife's
Saturday Neon makes officially licensed logo LED neon signs. She was hoping for another ad. Perfect for your home, office, dorm room, fan cave, or bar. You can have a new essentials collection featuring almost 50 of the biggest schools across the country. We have an Arizona State pitchfork up in here as well. And unlike traditional neon, these LED signs won't break or shatter, but they'll give you that classic uniform glow that you know and love. Super easy to install, lasts up to 100,000 hours, low voltage. It is the perfect gift. Maybe you didn't see somebody on Christmas, but you want to get them a gift when you see them in the New Year's, right? Say, hey, good job. Hey, guess what? Get them a Saturday Neon sign, especially for a college football fan in your life. We have Saturday Neon signs as well, and you can get 10% off your order. Use code PHNX for 10% off your order, all at SaturdayNeon.com.
Good job.
Thank you.
Killed that. Hit that like button. Do it. right now. Tony, I mean, come on. We're just spreading misinformation at
Apparently,
that point.
you're stinky.
It's just not true. I smell delightful. Okay.
You know what else is delightful? The fact that Arizona's... Thank you.
You're delightful.
Thank you.
I feel like you don't get told that enough at home.
Stop. I get told that all the time. In fact,
Continue.
I have to tell people, stop telling me I'm so amazing.
Yeah, you're
awesome.
awesome.
I gotta stop.
You want me to humble you?
No.
You want me to take you down?
Not
just tell
really.
you how undelightful you are?
I have terrible self-confidence. Please don't. But you know what gave me confidence? Confidence in my team. The way that your Arizona State Sun Devils played for the... I really wish that men's college basketball did quarters. I do too. Because the second half for the Sun Devils, they flipped a switch. They absolutely turned it on, and they beat UMass after an uninspired first 75% of the game. Chill, Megan. You got to chill. And they took on a Curry.
Yeah, they did take on a Curry.
2 points. He put up the same amount of points that Curry put up the other day when he was running cardio against Memphis. But yeah, really great game. Probably the best game of the season from Jaydon Quaintance. He had 19 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, only 2 personal fouls.
1 assist, too.
An assist. 4 offensive rebounds out of those 11 rebounds there. He had a fantastic game. Bashir Jihad had a good 2-way game as well, putting up 20 points, had 3 blocks and 3 steals in 29 minutes. That's a really impressive stat line. And we were watching both at the same time. And I looked down and I was at the point, like, you cannot lose to this team.
No.
Right? And UMass did not score a field goal in the last 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, 6 minutes, 52 seconds.
1 of 7 for the last 7 shots. 0 of 5 in their last 5. No field goals in the last 6 minutes and 52 seconds. This Arizona State defense turned it up a notch, and they had it with intensity so often. I loved this because it's a classic, like, good team against bad team where it's scrappy for the beginning and then the good team just pulls away. And that's what Arizona State is. A good team. Megan, you have to chill.
I mean, they swallowed up UMass on both ends at the end of this one. 13 points for Austin Mason, 20 points from Jihad. You already mentioned Quaintance. BJ Freeman, he threw in 11 points as well. He did end up fouling out of this game. But what I really loved from both Mason and BJ Freeman was their ability to create offense today, right? 11 assists between the two of them. And it was really about getting their teammates involved. Adam Miller with 9 points. On the other end, obviously, coming off the bench, Josan Sandin only with 6 points. Wasn't his best evening.
No.
Overall, 2 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3.
It's okay. He's okay to have a stinker, right? He's been so good and so
And he was your only, the really interesting takeaway from this one, right, is how helpful the bench has been for Arizona State, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be Amir Ali, whether it be a Josan Sandin, a Sean Phillips. Arizona State was able to win by 16 today. And they only got 6 bench points, and it was Josan Sandin. The rest came from the starters.
Yeah. Nobody else had a field goal or a free throw off the bench. And that's tough. Like, that's tough, and that's a big testament.
Puts a lot of pressure.
It's a big testament to your starters as well. Very big testament to your starters. I mean, this is a team that absolutely is fighting to be ranked in the top 25. Like, a loss to a really, really good Florida team is not enough for me to be out. You know,
their only losses this year are to top 10 teams.
To Gonzaga and to Florida, and either a neutral site or on the road.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is a team that is building a very good resume right now. But now you start Big 12 play.
You do.
Right. On December 31st. It's ASU BYU. Right. And if you can make a statement and you can beat BYU and you can enter Big 12 play, this is a BYU team that is also 9-2. This is a BYU team who is fighting to be ranked as well. Their 2 losses come to a ranked team, number 23 Ole Miss, and then Providence. They lost by almost 20 to Providence, who's not fantastic. They're only 6-3. Actually, they're only 7-6. They were 6-3 when they faced BYU. But these are 2 teams that are kind of fighting for similar spots right now in the Big 12, and BYU is very heavy favorites over the Sun Devils. So if you can go and you can beat BYU, and you probably put yourself in contention to be in the top 25 again. I don't think a win over UMass is going to do that for you. Then you play Colorado. You definitely have to compete against that one. Colorado, guess what? Also 9-2. One of their wins on the season was over then number 2 UConn, right? So they lost Iowa State by a ton, but they have a really good ranked win, and they have, okay wins besides they've actually played a lot of nothing outside of that. But you have two teams that are also 9-2 right now that you're facing to start a Big 12 play.
Yeah.
You win those two, then you go on to face number 8 Kansas, then you play Baylor, right? Those are two really good teams as well. Win some games in the top 25.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying in a long way around.
Well, you beat me to it. Let's go ahead. Let's get to the Bobby board. Take a look at the newest addition to that Bobby board. You got a new face with a win over UMass. This is a team, again, in Arizona State. You look at the only losses so far. You had the Duke game. Doesn't count. It's a charity game. Gonzaga, that team was a top 5 team in the nation at that point. Florida was a top 10 team when they beat Arizona State. And now you are done with non-con play, right? You got 9 wins, right? Is my math correct on that? Yeah, 9 wins.
They're 9-2.
9-2. And you've got BYU, Colorado, Kansas, and Baylor to really open up Big 12 play, the basketball conference when it comes to college football or college basketball. Man, I am just I can't do it today, man. I just can't.
What are we going to do with the stream for 24 hours straight?
I'm going to be mute. I'm going to be mute.
We're
That's what I'm going to do
screwed.
for the entire show.
That's a lot of
mute.
8-second segments.
How many wins did they get in their next 4?
In their next 4?
Next 4.
In their next 4,
I want to know from everybody in the chat.
How many do they need or how many will?
How many did they get?
I think they get 1.
Oof.
I think you need to have at least 2.
But they only get 1?
To float in the Big 12. To be ranked, you need 3. And one of those has to be
Kansas.
over Kansas.
So which one did they get?
Actually, no. If you win 3 out of 4, if you beat BYU, Colorado, Baylor, and lose to Kansas, you're ranked. You're 1,000% ranked. 1,000% ranked. I think they're
because then your only losses are Gonzaga,
the best
Kansas,
chance that they
Florida.
have. The best chance they have is beating Colorado. That's the easiest game they have out of the next 4. Is Colorado.
Yeah. I think this team gets 2 of those wins. I think they'll go 2-2 in that. I'm not going to say who they beat, who they don't beat. This conference is certainly just a masterclass when it comes to college basketball, so it's going to be fun either way.
It'd be tough.
Tony in the chat saying I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy because I chickened out coming down to Tucson. Tony, I don't know if you're hard of hearing, but I was in Tucson for that game. That was just a lie.
You were at our pregame thing too. You just left before Tony showed up.
Yeah. Tony missed me. I show up on time, Tony. If you're not there early, you're late, buddy.
Ohio State running away with it.
Yeah, 21-0 right now over Tennessee. Ryan Day, congratulations. You're going to be in Columbus.
You're still going to be employed.
You're still going to be in Columbus.
You're still going to be employed, man.
Did you see there was a plane that flew over the stadium today that said extend Ryan Day?
How much do you think he paid for that?
It said hashtag go blue.
That's funny. That's funny.
Michigan fans love Ryan Day. Absolutely
funny.
Love Ryan Day. Look, I know we're kind of bouncing back and forth, but any final thoughts on, I guess, anything you saw today from ASU hoops, from Texas football, for Arizona State football, Clemson?
Jaden Quaintance is a
dog.
Bashir Jihad is playing like the best player on this team. BJ Freeman was good offensively as well. Texas is a beatable team. The rush defense is going to be the hardest thing to overcome, but if you can force some turnovers out of Ewers, if you can get Cam Skattebo the ball, and if you can air it out as well and have some other people step up in place of Jordan Tyson like they did in the Big 12 Championship, you 1,000% can compete, can beat Texas, move on to play the winner of Oregon, Ohio State. That is all of my final thoughts.
Good job.
Thanks.
Welcome. Captain Redbeard, it's been a long day. You've got a plane to catch.
God, I forgot about that.
You're not feeling too hot. What time is it?
It's time to close down the ship.
It is. Guys, it's closing time. This segment is powered by Neutral. Keep it tasty, Tempe. Enjoy responsibly. And look, normally we'll give you 3 takeaways, but today there's just one, okay? The Peach Bowl is set. Arizona State, your Big 12 champion, versus Texas, SEC runner-up. The very first game in 2025 from the college football slate, college football playoff quarter final. You win that game, you're one of the final 4. Guys, we will see you on Monday, unless, of course, we have some breaking news at some point.
That's what it really feels like. Tomorrow's going to be like my second day off in an entire month. And 1,000% the Branch brothers are going to commit.
We'll see.
1 billion, trillion, million, quadrillion %. I'm actually reporting.
Yeah.
I am reporting that tomorrow at some point,
That's crazy.
Zachariah Branch
That's crazy.
and Zion Branch will commit to the Arizona State University Sun Devils.
Guys, Give us a follow on social at PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Totri. You can follow this guy, the man who's reporting the stuff at Erik
Mr.
Ruby.
Insider.
That is Erik with a K. You can follow Captain Redbeard at K Coop Sports, guys. We will see you on Monday. In the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.